In the heart of India's dense jungles lie secrets that could astonish anyone. The local inhabitants, who have lived there for generations, once turned to Christian missionaries with a plea to exorcise the ghosts haunting their land. But what they discovered was far from mystical. After the locals asked for their help, a team of missionaries, led by DJ Singh, set up a watch in a tree. In the evening, people saw wolves emerging from a den. Suddenly, following the predators, a horrifying creature crawled out of the den. The people grabbed their guns, ready to kill the ghost. It resembled a human, with similar hands, legs, and torso. Even the face was human-like. But then another ghost, a smaller one, appeared from the den. Both followed the wolves. The people didn't have time to shoot because Singh stopped them. He said these were not ghosts, but human children. And he was right. The children were caught and sent to a church orphanage in the city of Midnapore. They were 2 little girls. The older one looked no older than 8, the younger about 2. The children were weak and hungry but didn't understand how to eat. They could only lap up milk and water like animals. The older girl was named Kamala, and the younger, Amala. The girls constantly tried to escape. They moved exclusively on all 4s and did so very quickly. They couldn't stand on 2 legs. They preferred dark places. At night, they saw much better than in daylight. Over time, they learned to eat, but they grabbed food with their mouths instead of their hands. Sometimes they would snatch meat from the table, growling and baring their teeth. If they found a dead animal, they would start eating it without hesitation, which always made them sick. The girls didn't like clothes. Even in winter, anything they were dressed in, they tore to pieces. The orphanage staff had no choice but to let them run almost naked. They left only loincloths on the girls. If they got dirt on their skin, they wiped it off on the ground. The girls didn't accept other children or consider them their own. Surrounded by people, they sought wolves. Once they even bit a child who couldn't yet walk, whom Singh had tried to introduce them to. Amala and Kamala seemed uninterested in anything. They could sit for long periods staring into space. At night, they sometimes howled like wolves. The only person they became attached to was Singh's wife, who always took good care of them and understood their needs. But this wasn't like the relationship between a grandmother and grandchildren. Amala and Kamala behaved as if this woman was their master and they were her pets. The younger girl was more responsive because due to her age, she hadn't adopted too many wolf behaviors. But overall, the girls showed almost no emotions. No one saw them smile or heard them laugh. Even delicious food didn't elicit the kind of delight you could see on a child's face. When the girls played together, they didn't laugh either. They just jumped for joy or looked at each other in a special way. No one ever heard them cry. Only once did they see tears on Kamala's face when Amala died. This happened in the fall of 1921 due to eating spoiled meat. After Amala's death, Kamala tried to befriend cats and chickens. She was also very interested in a hyena pup, but as time passed, she adopted more human behaviors. She learned to nod when asked a question and to stand on straightened legs, helped by regular massages. By this time, her development resembled that of an 18-month-old child. But even after 24 months at the orphanage, she still couldn't stand for long or firmly. She always wanted to drop to all 4s. Kamala also came to love bathing, learned to use the toilet in a specific place, and at night, she no longer threw off her blanket. When it was time for a walk, she would put on some nice clothes. Gradually, she began to understand what was said to her and started to babble. Then she learned to say 30 words. Of course, this was not enough. So Kamala helped herself with gestures. Soon, her development was that of a roughly 7-year-old child. Kamala began to relate differently to children. Sometimes she even looked after babies. Interestingly, she spoke to them differently than she did to others. She developed a favorite color, red. In the fall of 1929, Kamala fell seriously ill and died 6 weeks later from uremia. Even the best doctors in the city couldn't help. This story proves that the human brain has immense adaptive capabilities. Scientists believe that the human genome contains many hidden potentials that will surface when critically needed by the body. Hearing this story, we are once again reminded of the enormous impact the environment has on a child from the earliest years of life. Goodbye for now.